Welcome back to the sweatshop. In today's video, we're going to be working on this 2003 Toyota Corolla. What we're going to be doing on the Corolla today is replacing our front wheel bearing. Now, I have done the video of this replacement in the past where I ramble on considerably. So if you're interested in me rambling on and saying boys and girls a million times, well, check that video out. In this video, I will be giving you the specs. It will be sped up and you're going to hear some wonderful background music. Now, of course, before we start getting to the portion where I actually start doing the work, I'm going to show you how to determine whether you have a bad bearing, and you're going to hear me ramble on about a few important key points. Things I'm going to be using in the video that aren't common is a OTC hub grappler. That thing makes my life so much better, and I suggest if you are going to do this and you're crazy enough to attempt this in the driveway, well, buy yourself a press tool or a bearing press tool that will do it on the car. Much like the OTC hub grappler, there are many different variations now of that sort of tool that will help you do a bearing on the car without you having to separate your complete spindle. The reason why that is beneficial is because you save the customer money if you're doing it for a customer, of course. And if you're doing it for yourself, you're going to save yourself some money because you don't have to do an alignment. There's less work and time involved. And of course, that always saves you money. Speaking of saving money, don't try to save money on your bearing. I just realized that that was like this and it should have been like that. Oh boy. Anyhow, speaking of saving yourself money, do not stinge on the bearing. Make sure, okay, Hoist, just calm down now. Make sure you get yourself a good bearing because you don't want to be doing this twice. These things here are relatively cheap. It's not super expensive. And Koyo is, I'm pretty sure, the OE manufacturer for Toyota for this year because, well, the last bearing that I did when I pulled it out said Koyo and that thing was original. So yeah, as you can see, they're also made in Japan, which means they are made with quality ingredients, shall we say. Another thing you want to make sure you do correctly is if you are going to attempt this job in the driveway, make sure not only that you have all the right tools, but you use jack stands so that your car doesn't land on top of your legs when trying to do this thing, or you, because for some reason you're underneath the car. That would just suck. Jack stands, a must. Also, you will need some ear, eye, and nose protection when grinding down the spindle in order to prepare it for your brand new bearing. You want to give your brand new bearing a nice new home. Otherwise, it'll give you a headache in the near future. That being said, we're going to move on now to show you what the hell is going on with our bearing. Of course, before I do that, do me a big favor, hit that subscribe button as well as a notification bell so you never miss one of my new videos. Okay, let's put this thing up in the air and I'll show you how to tell that you have a bad bearing. Now, with most vehicles that have a bad bearing, you're going to hear a whirring or gurring sort of sound from your vehicle. On any given wheel, essentially any bearing will sound pretty much the same. It will increase with its intensity as you increase your speed. So that's one way to tell that you have a bad bearing. Now, in this case, we don't have any sound. What we do have though is play. And what is play? Well, it's movement of the wheel. You can hear that knocking there in the background as I move the wheel back and forth. Now, when I go left to right, you don't hear anything. Up and down though, you do. It's kind of hard to see, but my hands are in the north and south position on the wheel. With that play present, you now have to check and make sure that your ball joint or your suspension has not failed. And of course, isolate the bearing to ensure that that is the problem. How you can tell that you have an issue is by sticking your finger between the ball joint and the control arm and then shaking the wheel. If there is any play, obviously you have a bad ball joint. It may be hard to tell, but in this case, we can actually see the CV shaft moving separately from the spindle, which indicates that the bearing is causing a play. Now, hopefully I caught that on camera. If I didn't, well, this clip is kind of useless. Now, once you isolate that the bearing is the issue that tissues just won't solve, go ahead and rip the wheel off. Let the music begin. One last tip before we start the music off, make sure you place the ignition into the accessory 1 position so that you can go ahead and turn the wheel freely and your steering isn't locked. Now, hit the music. all-terrain brake hose. If this thing here is seized and not moving for whatever reason, you may have to use an air hammer and pointer bit in order to get this thing to move. Luckily ours is moving. If yours doesn't, you might have to resort to heat, which would really suck. 17 mil for ball joints. Brilliant design by Toyota. Now, unfortunately, it's going to be way too much typing for me in one giant paragraph. So essentially what we need to do to break this ring free is to get a chisel bit on a hammer or an air hammer and go ahead and chisel this guy around the circumference of the C-clip in order to break it free. Now is also a good time for me to show you that this thing's on its way out. Let's go get that air hammer. Ear, eyes, nose protection. Start off with a light flame. Always hook it with your finger because this thing likes to always fly off and somehow hit your face or eyeball. They suck. Now take a well-warranted break. Move the race. Air, eye, and nose protection. That's a lot of fucking rust on this shit. Get it as straight as possible. Be very careful. Okay, a few things to do here that I don't want to type out. What you want to do is grab this thing, see if you can move it up and down, left and right. Make sure that there is no play. It means you have a well-installed bearing. Second thing you want to do, if you hear any noises, well, you screwed something up. And if you don't, good job. Anti-seize the hub. Always thread in by hand. Unhook caliper from bungee cord. Remove bungee cord. Slide caliper into place. Ensure brake shield is not going to touch rotor. Make sure bolts are anti-seized. All right. Torque spec 76 foot-pounds or 103 newton meters. That's a thumbs up for me. Well, that is pretty much all she wrote for the Corolla. What you need to do, and the most important step, is to now make sure you pump the brakes before you put this thing in gear. Remember, we depressed the caliper just a bit, and if you don't pump those brakes, well, you're not gonna have brakes, and that's not gonna be good. After you're done pumping the brakes, you can take this wonderful machine for a test drive. Make sure all is well in Corolla land. If it is, give yourself a pat on the back. You've done a great job. If it isn't, well, maybe watch the other video with the audio so you know what you might have screwed up. With that being said, that's all she wrote. Hopefully you found the video entertaining as well as informative. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss one of my new videos. And as always, thanks for watching. We will see you in the next one. Or a bearing press tool that will do it on the car, much like the OTC hub gap. Much like the OTC, oh my god. Much like the OTC hub grappler, there are now cheaper versions out there. Versions? Oh, Jesus, Jimmy. Versions. We're going to scrap versions and just call it a variation. Yeah. Otherwise, it will give you a nice headache in the new. How you can tell is by obviously sticking your finger between the joint and the controller. Oh, excuse me. Okay. One last thing before the music begins. It is a vital tip. Put the car in the accessory position. Wait, that doesn't make sense. You mean ignition, Jimmy. Fuck it. God damn it. Okay. Yeah. That was too much rambling, man. Get a shorter bungee cord. Remove caliper. I mean rotor. Stupid. Remove rotor. Oh, the speech doesn't matter, Jimmy. Caliper should look like this. Do not strain. Stop fucking moving, camera. It's going to suck because you're most likely going to have to hammer it with a air chamber. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's fucked, man. It's not coming out of there easily. Ah, fuck you. Which of course they can't fucking see, but such is the name of the game. Ow. We'll need a bigger screwdriver. Bungee cord that motherfucker out of the way. That's better. Where the fuck? I just have my screwdriver. Where'd I put it now? Don't hit the fucking camera. Ah, you mother. Oh, what the fuck is your problem, you cocksucker? My fucking screwdriver sort of smashed us into the fucking head. Can be a real fucking pain in the ass sometimes. This is how it goes sometimes. It's a fucking pain in the dick. Fuck, that's a lot of fucking rust on this shit. Even better than before. Woo! You motherfucking cunt, I swear to God. Fucking pile of garbage. Oh man, the camera's in the fucking way all the time, that son of a bitch. Oh, the things I gotta do for YouTube. Yay! Torque brake caliper 2, 79 foot-pounds or 107 foot-pounds of torque. Torque specs, 76 Newton meter. Oh, fuck. That's a thumbs up for me. Should get the whole thumb in there, Jim. Well, that is fucking camera. All right, that's all she wrote. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. With that being said, that's all she wrote. Don't forget to... With that being said, that's all she wrote. Hopefully you found the video. I was about to do it again like a fucking idiot. With that being said, that's all she wrote. Hopefully. With that being said, that's all she wrote. Don't forget. Ah, fuck, Jimmy. Come on, man. Woo!